Have you ever just looked around your workplace and thought, man, this could be so much better? If so, you're in the right place. We're going to dive into Peter Block's idea of stewardship. It's this powerful and honestly pretty radical way of rethinking power, accountability, and how we all work together.
So let's just start by acknowledging something I think a lot of us feel. There's this weird paradox at the heart of work today. We've got Slack, we've got Zoom, we're supposedly more connected than we have ever been, and yet something often feels fundamentally off.
It's this question, right? It can be hard to put your finger on it, but you feel it. That sense of disconnection, maybe feeling like you're just a cog in a giant machine that doesn't really see you. So why is that? Why does it so often feel broken?
Well, according to Peter Block, this isn't just in your head. These aren't vague feelings. They are real, tangible side effects of how our organizations are set up. We're seeing deeper isolation, even when we're constantly online. There's this widespread anxiety that's just fueled by a culture of scarcity and constant competition. And for a lot of people, there's a real loss of personal security. These are all just symptoms of a system that is seriously overdue for a rethink.
Okay, so that's the problem. But what if there's a different way? What if there's an antidote to this whole broken system? Well, this is exactly where Block introduces the idea of stewardship. And I want to be super clear here. This is not just another corporate buzzword or some management fad. It's a fundamental shift in how we think about governance itself.
So what is it really? At its absolute core, stewardship is this: accountability without control or compliance. I mean, just let that phrase roll around in your head for a second. It means we're all responsible for the outcomes, but not because someone at the top is forcing us to comply. It's about a shared purpose. It completely flips the traditional top-down model on its head.
And Peter Block himself puts it perfectly right here. Stewardship is the choice to preside over the orderly distribution of power. Let's just pull out a few keywords there. Choice, distribution, service. This isn't about power just slipping away by accident. It's about intentionally and wisely giving power to the people who are actually doing the work. And you do it all in the name of service, not for your own self-interest.
Okay, so that sounds great, but how do we get there? Block is really clear. You can't just download a 5-step plan for this. It's not a program. It's a practice, and it's built on 3 foundational choices that totally change how we see our world and our place in it.
All right, first up, we have to choose partnership over patriarchy. Now, it is so important to understand that when Block says patriarchy, he's not talking about gender. He's describing any system of governance, any system at all, that's built on top-down control, on consistency, and on making people dependent. Partnership is the exact opposite. It's about sharing power. And get this, in a real partnership, everyone has the right to say no. Think about what that means. Dissent isn't seen as a threat. It's seen as a vital sign that people are actually engaged and that there's trust.
The second choice builds right on that idea, choosing adventure over safety. And, this is a tough one because that feeling of safety in a predictable job where you can kind of avoid risk, that's really alluring. But Block argues that that comfort zone actually makes us passive. It makes us reluctant to take real responsibility. So stewardship asks us to choose adventure, to see our own empowerment as a personal choice we make, to reclaim our own authority, and to get truly emotionally invested in the success of the whole team.
And this last choice, wow, this might be the most profound one of all: choosing service over self-interest. I mean, think about it. So much of traditional leadership is about climbing a ladder, right? It's a race to get more power, more privilege for yourself. And that just creates class systems within an organization. In a stewardship model, it's totally flipped. Power isn't something you take. It's something you are granted by the community that you are there to serve. And that means your accountability completely shifts. It's no longer about pleasing the boss above you. It's about supporting the people and the mission right in front of you.
Okay, I can hear you. This all sounds great in theory, right? A beautiful philosophy, but what does it actually look like on a Monday morning? If you make these 3 choices, how does the organization itself actually have to change?
Well, the change has to be systemic. It has to run deep. So your human resources department, it can't just be a paternalistic rule enforcer anymore. It has to become a genuine partner and helping people succeed. The finance department, it stops being a control function and starts being a service and support function for the people on the front lines. And performance appraisals, that classic tool of top-down judgment, forget it. We're talking about peer-based feedback. Even hiring changes. Teams don't just get a new person handed to them. They get to select their own team members.
This totally redefines what it even means to be a manager. You're not the boss in that old-school sense. Instead, Block uses this great analogy. You become a banker and a broker. Your entire job is to be a banker who secures the resources your team needs to win, and a broker who connects people and gets rid of roadblocks. Your whole purpose is to serve the team, not to command it.
So whenever you're presented with a big, kind of radical idea like this one, what's the first place your brain goes? I know what mine does. We immediately start thinking about the logistics, the toolkits, the step-by-step plans. The question is always, how, right? How do I implement this? What are the 5 steps? Just give me the checklist. And you know what? That is a totally natural and practical response when you're facing such a huge shift.
But, and here is the big twist, Peter Block argues that our obsession with how is actually the thing that holds us back. He says it's a defense mechanism, a way to avoid the real, deeper work. It is the wrong question to start with.
Because the answer to how isn't found in some consultant's manual. It's found when we start asking ourselves these much deeper, more personal questions. Can we create a place where we can actually live out our freedom? Can we connect our work to something bigger than just ourselves? And can we feel secure enough to do both of those things? You see, the real work of stewardship isn't about following a checklist. It's about creating a culture where every single person can honestly answer yes to these questions.
And that really brings it all home. At the end of the day, stewardship isn't a business strategy you just deploy on a Monday morning. It's a fundamental choice. It's a choice about the kind of world we want to live in and the kind of future we want to build, at work and everywhere else. So the only question that's really left is, what future will you choose to create?